All right, so Stafford said all the right things. I have zero issue with what Stafford said. I only played that just to kind of give you some background on what went down today. But here is my question and statement, I guess. I view Matthew Stafford's contract, albeit record-breaking, it's probably the easiest contract ever. You have a quarterback who I think he knows he's very lucky to play here. And what I mean by that is, no, he doesn't play for a Super Bowl team, but he plays in a town where you don't have 60 microphones in your face. You've played and put up a lot of numbers, and a lot of people like you. I don't think there's Super Bowl pressure here. I think fans are delighted to just make playoffs. It's easier to play football here than in many other cities. So I think he wants to stay here. You know what the money's going to be. Okay, it's very simple. You take what Andrew Luck signed for, and we're going to tack on probably a 10% tariff to that and go above it. It's not a hard deal to negotiate. There is no angle. The team isn't going to save any money. The player's not going to allow the team to save any money. So you know the framework. It's what I've been telling you for 2 years. You're probably going to end up at about $26 million per. And if you're not at 26, 25 and a half. Or if you're not at 26, 26.2. You're going to end up right around there. And probably 6 years. Maybe 7. Okay? It's not a hard deal to negotiate. So here's my question. And then a suggestion. I'm asking you, the Lion fan out there. I mean, are we all on the same page here? That signing Stafford isn't really a question any longer. It's a formality. And then beyond it, I guess maybe I'm crazy, but I think it should be an absolute priority to have it done by the time they break for camp. I don't want this to even be a small distraction. I don't think it makes any sense to let this thing go through camp, much less go through the season. Get it done, end any speculation, end any conversation, pay this man. And I don't care if it affected his mindset by 1% or the locker room by 1%. Take all that out of it. Matthew Stafford's your quarterback. He's your franchise. Doesn't matter if I don't love him. Doesn't matter if you don't love him. You at least like him. And you know that there's no better option out there. That conversation, that's all dead and gone. That died last offseason when Quinn walked in the door and didn't do anything. At that point, he made his decision that he was going to give this kid this deal. So my question would be, does anyone, A, agree with my stance? Because I feel like Lion fan is just kind of floating in space right now. I know the draft's coming up. I know we have different thoughts on where they should go, but isn't the Stafford deal, A, a formality, and B, shouldn't it be done by training camp? What excuse would there be not to get it done by camp? Don't tell me you're going to be surprised that Stafford wants BOGO cash. You knew that a year ago. And what you pay Stafford isn't some choice. You don't order off a menu. You take what the last guy signed for, and you put more coins in the arcade machine. That's it. Not difficult. And to me, if I'm Bob Quinn, it's priority one. I want this done before I ever hop on my silly little golf cart off Rotunda Drive. 248-539-9797. You can take a text in 97136. I know. Crazy idea. I want to talk about football right at 2 o'clock. I know normally this goes over like a fart in church. But I think it's really interesting that Stafford has every right to be a little bit flippant.
It doesn't really work like that, no.
Hey, when it gets done, it gets done. It's part of his personality. But it's also he holds all the leverage. I think if you wait, it only ends up costing you more money. And franchising is never going to be an option, ever. That's suicide. 248-539-9797. Now, either I did an amazing job setting that up and the guys are speechless, or David and Sully just aren't paying attention.
No, I've been paying attention the entire time, Mike. Just we're approaching, obviously, the clock here.
Don't worry about that. I just want to make sure. I mean, are you guys angry with me? Do you not like what I'm suggesting here?
No, I think that definitely they have to get this done before the season, and you would like to see some more urgency. Obviously, all you're going to hear publicly is we're working on it. Our people are talking. Their people are talking. But, yeah, this absolutely, if this doesn't get done before training camp in August, I would not only be stunned, but I would be upset about
Well,
it.
here's what I want, too, is if people don't want them to sign this guy to this deal, this is your last chance to speak or forever hold your peace. Because I don't want to hear it after he signs. I mean, that's it.
See, I do feel like most Lions fans, have come around and will now at least admit that he should be signed.
I think that number's probably 85 to 90%.
And it used to be nowhere near that.
No, but I think people are resigned to their fate. I think they understand where they're at. I think they understand where the franchise is. And once the franchise decided with 2 years left on the deal, they weren't going to move him, weren't going to try to do a Herschel Walker-type trade when teams needed a quarterback, this is where you ended up. You're going to have Matthew Stafford for the better part of a decade.
Here's the thing, though. I don't want to hear about how, he definitely doesn't deserve to be the highest paid player ever and people comparing other players. It's what the market is,
Right.
guys. It's just, it's what it is.
It's all business. And I think they should do the business by the time camp starts. Yes, David?
I had that debate on my show Saturday evening with Timothy Jetsky.
Oh.
He argued with me left and right that Stafford doesn't deserve this contract, and I just couldn't get it through to him that it's just the market.
Right.
I don't understand the problem here.
Like I said, you don't get to order off the menu. What is being served is just you're told, hey, we have pizza on the menu. You're ordering pizza.